Today we're talking about why flat feet are messing you up. So flat feet are basically a collapsed arch. Now, I've noticed that most people who walk or stand with their feet out in sort of a duck feet have some level of collapse in their arch. And then even when they put their feet back parallel, that arch is still collapsed. So when they put their arch up, when you raise that arch, it changes the position of the ankle over the heel, and then it changes the alignment. So you can really see collapsed arch and raised arch. So why this is relevant is that it's hard then to maintain your squat mechanics. If your arches collapse, then your tibia, so the lower part of your leg, rotates inwards and it torques the knees, so you have ligament stress on the inside or potentially the outside, some patellar tendonitis possibilities, and then the hip internally rotates. And then your external rotators of your hips, especially glute med, becomes overstretched, which means it's weak. Now, if your glute med is weak, the hamstrings are used to be working with glute med, but if it's weak, then you can start to see a bit of potential injuries in the hamstring, and it can also cause some back problems and all the way up. If your base is weak, you can have stress in your shoulders and neck coming from a bad base. So we're pretty lucky. Steve actually has flat feet, so he's a great model. So we're going to get him to put his feet parallel, and you can see that the arches are still collapsed. So we're just going to get him to raise the arches a little bit. So really bringing up the arch, but of course the big toe comes up, so we got to bring that toe down. So raising the arches. And you can see from the back that his Achilles tendon is a bit curved when his arches are collapsed. And so we want to sort of straighten it out by aligning the two bones of his heel together, one on top of the other, so it straightens out the Achilles tendon. We're going to show you with my feet just because I'm a little bit bonier. You can see that my Achilles tendon, when it's collapsed, it kind of comes out, and when my feet are straight, the Achilles tendon is much straighter. Another eventuality is that with a collapsed arch and bad footwear like soccer cleats, you can end up with a bunion. But that's material for a whole other segment. So we're going to go into the arch bridge, which is basically you want to dome your arch and then bring it down. So you dome and bring it down. You want to try to keep the bone of the big toe down. So right now, Steve is still putting it up a little bit too high, but you'll see that I correct him. So he's trying to dome his foot, and then you try to dome it without lifting that bone from the big toe. So I think he does it here. He just domes just the arch. So it's a much more subtle movement, but you can also do it with a towel. So this time the toe does go up, but you want to just gather a towel towards you, and this really works the muscle of the big toe, which is a big part of maintaining that inside arch of your foot. So you're just strengthening that inner arch. So we're going to do another arch strengthening exercise. So basically you're going to sit with your legs at about 90 degrees, and you're going to take your foot and bring it towards the inside, so you're sort of curling it inwards. And that's going to really strengthen the inner arch and give you a little bit more arch in your flat foot. Make sure you do both sides. Next up is tib posterior strengthening, and we've done this in another video, but I find this exercise really useful, so we're going to repeat it. So you're going to place the TheraBand around your foot, and the top foot is the one that's exercises. As you can see, you're bringing it up and down. And it's really similar to the previous exercise, another way to really strengthen the inner leg so that you can strengthen that arch and really not fall into that flat arch. Another way to strengthen your tib posterior is to challenge its balance. So you're going to tie a band on something stable, and you're going to turn away from it. So it requires you to really balance your foot and really get yourself a little bit, challenging that equilibrium. So all the really inner muscles of the foot and leg. And again, that helps you to strengthen the inner arch. Nothing better than a sole mash. So you want to really work all of those little muscles underneath your feet. Take out all the tension so you can rock that ball back and forth under your foot, lengthwise or side to side, to really get all sorts of angles. You can do it sitting down or standing up if you want a bit more pressure. But the idea is not to dig in necessarily deeply, but to really just get blood flowing, and so you get more circulation. So you can go back and forth the length of the foot. So see how now he's doing it standing up, a bit more pressure. And you can also find one spot and just stay there and wait till that spot releases. And you'll find a ton of release. Next is rock tape time. So we're going to tape the inner arch so that it's a bit more lifted. And we are going to tape the around the ankles. So first you're going to cut your strips and round off your edges. So one longer strip and one shorter strip to mark the X, like so. Longer strip around, and your X marks the spot. You're going to tear the tab and place the foot so that it's in this similar position here, so that you're putting more tension on the proper muscles. And you're going to go around the heel and just around the back like that. And the last inch, you don't want any stretch on it. Make sure you press it really well so that the heat activates the glue. And you've got your cross spot. You want to put it on top of just the arch area to give it a bit more support. And again, the tips of it have no stretch in it at all. Here's my Vanna White modeling my beautiful rock tape. On behalf of Mobility Junkie, Livia and Steve, thanking you for watching.